So hello everybody, and welcome to the final stream of WARNO League Season 3. It has been a long journey, but here we have arrived with the final. 4 divisions are in the league. We went to the first 3, now we are here in Division 4, and we have a nice best of 3 grand finals in front of us here, between Termi on the left side and ItsJover on the right, and what a matchup we got here, Chloride.
Yeah, I think we have a pretty reasonable and rational and sensible Black Forest matchup. 101st Air Assault versus 4th Motorschützen, both equivalently heavy, both have powerful forward deployment components, both can bring out a large amounts of very good infantry for pretty decent prices. Of course, one of them with the DDR having Resolute, so with the Americans having larger squads and a more fancy equipment. And the Black Forest being having both the center, which is at the top zone, as well as the Boris zone on the middle. Both of them reward forward deployment immensely, and so forward deployment heavy openers followed up by the more efficient support heavy artillery, anti-air, and light mechanized forces. It's the reasonable choice, especially if you want to play ranked nowadays. And you're not going to want to be playing a full-on airborne division on this map anyways, because the breakthroughs are so rare, and neither of these players wanting to concede the forward deployment advantage either, which, considering we are on Division 4, is pretty reasonable. If you can have that forward deployment, you want to use it. Though on the western side, the deltas come with the Humvee deltas, which are of course 100 kph special forces cars, and the special forces trait gives them even more road speed. And so the Sprengtaukers and the FS Jaegers coming in on 90 kph trucks will be secondary if 3 ducks in a trench coat, aka Termi, wants to actually press the advantage here.
Yeah.
Both players we're seeing going very heavily into Boris, with Jover getting the northern position here pretty reasonably. No tanks, nothing like that.
Yeah, the Fallschirmjäger is there, 1 Shilka and an SPG-9 going up against 1 Delta and 1 Aero Rifle Dragon. So that should be a relatively easy win here for Jover. There come the MiG-21s as well. The helicopter OH opener here, a pretty classic one nowadays as well. Should be able to do some damage there potentially. Oh yeah, the MiG-29 turns at the wrong angle. Lucky there though. MiG-21's coming around from the side here. Can the OH get their turn on this in time? They get 1 hit. Can they find a second one? Yes, they can. OH-58 trade versus a MiG-21. That's a nice one for the OHs when it comes to price. A decent one when it comes to availability for the MiG-21. So nothing major here happening, but the OHs doing their job.
Yeah, but the OHs have mostly run out of missiles right now, and even though there are a bunch of these people, okay, well, there's an eagle on the floor right now. The OHs lacking could have opened the possibility for an early bomber, but now that the eagle is showing itself, I doubt the bomber is going to get out here. No, nobody wants to challenge the eagle, and actually not buying any air is the best choice if your enemy is going early on with an eagle. 270 points to do nothing, to achieve nothing. That is a victory for the East Germans right now. And oh no, the Fallschirmjägers are deploying really close, and the Deltas are already waiting. Deltas miss a truck hit, miss a second truck hit. Close range with Carl Gustavs. FS Jäger, Metis and FS Jäger Schwere Maschinengewehr managed to get themselves into fighting position right now. But with Humvee Deltas providing fire support, the fight is going to be won by the Deltas pretty soon, I believe. But Jover starting out here by gaining the northern position, and
Sprengtaukers in the south nearly got killed by the Carl Gustav as well, but got out just in time beforehand. But the Delta's Humvee really doing a lot of work here. And yeah, it's looking pretty good in the infantry fights for Termi here. Though the north is lost. Pivot there coming in a bit late. Maybe can do a bit of damage there. The deltas there have been dealt with. But yeah, Pivot is such a beast. We have heard Jeremy. That thing can murder a lot of stuff if it's set up nicely. But their Shilka on the other side can do similar things. So I think the north is lost for the blue side. But as they're getting into Boris, that is not the biggest worry here.
Yeah, this is really, really weak in the middle right now. That deployment there, like even if the even if that went perfectly, and it did, all of the hits from the Carl Gustavs missed, the enemy is going to have a larger forward deployment opener, most likely, considering that the deltas are so powerful, and they're going to have the transports as well. So why not take the right side of the zone and just hold them until your early on more efficient mechanized component, the BMP-1s and the T-55s and the Shilka start arriving. I think that was a big miscalculation from Jover. And right now, there is a moment here for Termi to just go right, just push on the right. There is nothing there. The Sprengtalkers are not even in a position to spot it. The southern zone has been fully secured and the positions are getting cleared by the deltas. And yeah, I have a feeling that this game may not actually last that long. Though on the other hand, if Termi is too passive here and allows the T-55s to get into some level of positions,
Conquers with the important snipe there, getting the kill onto the Humvito. Conquers gets sniped out as well. And yeah, Termi needs to be maybe a bit more proactive. They have the control of the middle. They could set down Boris completely. And yeah, only having a +1 now instead of the +2 that they want, that is not quite the lead that you want to get out of this. We'll need to invest into another CV, Humvee CV coming up. First M1 IP coming up as well. But Termi, maybe a bit too complacent, as you said, in that middle. Did get a kill on all the Shilkas, did get a kill on all the infantry, but the T-55s and the BMP-1s that you were talking about coming around now, and this still could go decently for Jover if Termi stays this slow.
Yeah, if you get that kind of significant kills, you owe it to yourself to try to check if that was the only thing that the enemy had. Now the T-55 is in a position to fire at the road, but the deltas could very easily just bypass it and get into the other parts of the middle zones. Though I think Termi might be playing it waiting for the M1 IP and the Eagle to play this extra safe. And the extra safety may not be exactly the best thing right now, considering the Motorschützen are getting in here. The deltas are, but the air rifles Dragon are not in positions to engage vehicles. So I have a feeling the Motorschützen will also be able to get down there. And with a rocket helicopter with a Motoraufklärer,
Humvee missing as well. Another unfortunate AT hit here from Termi. It comes after the BMP-1 again. Jover unloads last second. Mudschützen once more survive here. Really unfortunate with those high-level AT pieces that still don't quite get the hits. The Delta's in the center now, using the sniper rifle against Mudschützen, but the BMP-1 has no answer there just yet. The Mudschützen taking a decent bit of damage there from the pivot as well, but so far everything is fine here. For Jover when it comes to the points, doesn't get ticked again, and yes, there is still a blue advantage for blue, and yes, with the M1 IPs, there could be some pressure coming up now, but that is still a bit out, and for now, the BMP-1s have arrived, and the combined arms for Jover is online.
Yeah, the M1 Abrams has managed to get itself into the middle and is already has opened fire. And right now, with the Abrams being there with his 50 cal machine guns, the PVATs, and even a leader, this is the time at the very least to start advancing with the infantry. But this now. Even though the Motorschützen and the BMP-1s and T-55s have managed to reinforce this zone, I still believe that in a proper engagement with the M1 IP getting microed, this is completely winnable for Termi. And right now, a MiG-23 rocket plane, this is one of these heavy rocket planes, going in and strafing an air rifle squad that is holding patrol, getting taken out by the OH-58.
Yeah.
That's a pretty significant loss here. There's already 2 Eagles out. You can't afford to lose random plays.
Yeah, the pivot here, trying to help out in the middle still. M1IP there, still active as well. Though the T55s and BMP1s do hold against that quite decently. Pivot about to go down. Deltas went down there as well. The M1IP not quite doing its anti-mechanized job that it is supposed to do here. And even gets hit now by the Mudschützen. Coop coming around. Won't find the Eagle here that easily, but the M1IP now being pushed back by the Mudschützen with the pretty strong RPG 7VL. Frontally, they still don't do massive damage, but they continue doing the job there. And Mudschützen start to get wiped out a bit again, but the situation here is improving nonetheless here in my eyes for Jover, who get more units into position.
Yeah, Jover has a self-propelled howitzer with Termi's 155mm already aiming actually, and the target is a Coop that is wisely getting moved to a different location after firing all of its missiles. Very nice to see that, especially from Division 4 players. The FS Baller Fagot is in one of the correct positions to threaten any vehicles that are in the middle zone here. And as much as Jover messed up that opener by deploying a little bit too aggressively, this is the recovery is going quite well. BRM1 is pushing in south, and the fighting has been tough enough that there is only a single member of the Deltas left. So with the BRM and BMPs, those should actually be enough to fight this off and force reinforcements at the very least. Oh, Termi is microing their artillery against counter battery inside a truck, and with the artillery targeting the frontline Deltas, the fighting for oh no, Jover losing T55, that's very crucial. Though
yeah,
at the same
but
time,
the M1IP down to 1 hit point finally smokes off. The stressed out BMP1, they're actually doing a pretty decent job. What's the stressed out Abrams? Oh no, the BMP actually recovered, just low hit points, but it is fully cohesion. What's the M1IP is absolutely not. Needs to get repaired there, but the supply goat is empty, so new supply necessary for that. Maybe bring it back to the CH-47 Chinook supply and get it repaired back there, because it is absolutely in need of that. M1IP leader gets sideshotted, gets critted, down to 2 hit points as well. Both M1s here super low, need to get the hell out of there, because artillery could zoom in any moment here, and need to get back to the resupply so that they can get back to full strength. Fagot is firing. Oh no, it might find the M1IP here. Missile still flying straight. It does miss in the end, so in the end, it all can be salvaged here by Termi, but Termi needs those supply goats here on the front line soon, as those M1IP is currently completely inefficient.
Yeah, there's a reason I call that position the correct position to have an ATGM, because it pays off so reliably. That and the area that the buildings right next to the Flushing Sprengtaugers also, those can threaten the vehicles that are generally bought to hold to act as commanders on this zone, and the artillery can do the rest. And artillery already doing blind targeting, but still quite threatening.
Yeah, the artillery on the other side taking out the Fagot. Ooh, Apache versus a MiG-21. Can the MiG-21 survive? Again, no, F-15 comes in, gets the kill, and the Apache is still here. The Eagle is out of ammo, so it can't threaten it. So once more, a unit here surviving with nearly no hit points for Termi. Important call in there on the F-15, coming in just in time to survive, keep this Apache alive. And if those units can all repair with the Chinook, then this will be a really strong front line for our player in blue. The situation here for Jover kinda derailing right now.
Yeah, I do think that the Termi is paying for not having the proper aggro mindset right in the opener. Like, if you get kills with your opener units, you want to just go further, just try out. You have recon units, you have special forces units. It's even if you can't gain ground, you can probably get a good engagement at the very least. And right now, the fourth moto's capacity to bring out these 45-point Motorschützen, which is quite cheap for that level of a squad. With the 30-point BMP-1 SP2s, which have smoke, 3 armor, and even though the weapons are mediocre, they are still weapons. And those things come out in such large numbers, and the resolute trait scales so well with getting upvetted by leaders that they can out efficiency even stuff like the arrow rifles. And look at the Aero Fire Team Dragon. This is a 40.5 man squad, which is of course expensive because of the Dragon 2 missile, but like those things in straight up infantry fights are just not gonna do well. And if they get suppressed by the BMP-1 fire, they're not gonna do that much against the BMPs either.
Yeah, we see a decent frontline right now. +1 is ticking for Termi, but that's a pretty slow tick. That's only 40 points per minute that they gain here. They will try to snipe the enemy artillery. They really did good artillery micro on the 155mm pieces so far, and those have done a decent job. The other artillery on the other side doing a good amount of damage as well, but I feel like Termi so far did more. Coming in now for the SPW, gets the BMP there as well. And the OH is around. The Apache about to be repaired as well. The both Abrams about to be repaired too. So this situation here is developing pretty decently when it comes to the pure frontline firepower. But on the other side, the combined arms with the T-55s and BMP-1s is not all that bad either. And the SPW survives barely here. Modschützen gets shredded in the attack. We see air rifles with 13 hit points coming in quickly here. No ODS just yet, but those are pretty chunky as well. And I like the trade so far that Termi gets here in this fight as well. BMP-1s go down, Modschützen go down, and only one of the Delta Humvees lost for that. That is a pretty solid situation.
Yeah, the southern infantry fights with the Fallschirmjäger, schwere Maschinengewehrs going out there, they're supported by the BRM. They're getting some amount of ground, but there are already a wide front of defenses, including AGL Humvees and Humvee-TOWs. So that's most likely going to be a losing attack for Jover for now. And with the air rifles 84, infantry fights should really be infantry fights in the middle are going to go for the Americans for the moment. Now, getting the fast deployed and paying extra for the Chinook transports, of course, and having these two 13-man squads, that is an assault force. You can start going out there. You can start pushing. The two Abrams have already been repaired. They should be moved up the front here, and under the cover of these 155mm, this would be a really nice position to start attacking.
Yeah, the T-55AM here, under artillery fire, heating it quite nicely, but not going down. Mi-8 rocket in the south, actually dealing a good amount of damage. The Stinger got killed off by the Fallschirmjägers, so the rocket helicopter could come around, deal a bit of damage, but it's not pushing through in the far south either. +1 stays active for now. We have the M1I piece moving forward again. We have 2 more artillery pieces coming up, so these are 105mm, but the artillery game here is real on blue side. On the other side, another 152mm Acacia coming in as well. But the Apache is back for the south. There is not all that much AA down there. The Shilkas, they got buffed in range so that they at least are close to be on the same range as the Apache, but they still get outranged a slight bit with 2,650 meter range against helicopters. But the Apache here has to be careful around that, though any vehicle coming into the open field right now in the south, that just is going to eat a hellfire, so Jover will have to find success elsewhere. M1IPs here actually getting hit up quite badly, but they get a T-55 and they can get repaired again. T-55M2B doesn't find them, and the infantry is now pushing forward, but the fire support on the red side might be a bit too good right now.
Yeah, the wide front line with T-55 AM2B up there, preventing the vehicles from moving forwards here. Artillery is not active currently. 4 pieces of artillery, none of them are aiming, all of them are ready. That's a big miscalculation here. The investing in artillery kind of makes you responsible on you actually need to use them. If you don't use them, those that is a weakness. That is an you're working for the enemy if you don't keep tabs on them. My way is just to keep them on hotkeys and just
Oh,
keep
the
on.
Apache is getting dived here by the MiG-21. Oh no, gets shut down. Stingers coming around, get the kill against the MiG-21. F-15 under fire by the Coops. Double Coop fire here, does miss, so at least a trade there. Mi-8 goes down in the south as well. One Eagle got shut down earlier though, so yeah, in the end a pretty devastating loss here for Termi, both losing the expensive helicopter and one of the important fighters, and not really gaining much for it. The M1 IPs in the center, one of them still in the rear, has to get repaired back up. The other one on the front line, but not really actively shooting right now. There's so many vehicles here for the 4th Mod Schützen just giving fire support on the other side, and that is a massive issue. The number of fire support units here really helping out in the infantry fights, but on the other side, artillery also doing a good job. But and the 1.5mm is not quite able to catch up here. The infantry numbers on the front line shrinking rapidly right now.
Yeah, there's it seems like Termi was floating a little bit, buying 2 Chinooks full of troops as well as 3 Abrams. The Abrams, all of them going to the middle here, and it seems like Termi is just gonna go for this toe-to-toe, which is on the long term is going to favor the 4th Motorschützen, but in practice right now, it might be enough to keep removing these Motorschützen and these BMPs. The Motorschützen BMP1 combo, especially under the veterancy buff here, is just so efficient. Like the 65-point infantry squads are not worth it against these things, and with the wider front line, the recon up top, recon currently spotting the Humvee CP, so most likely going to see artillery start targeting in just a second. The tactical advantages here for Jover are pretty big. The Jover did the old-fashioned and gained some points by capturing the southern point. Right now, Humvee CP getting back in there with infantry, helicopter deployed infantry. Oh no, but the Shilka, if the Shilka moves a little bit, yes, the Shilka is moving from behind the building, and they might be able to get a Humvee.
Coop gets into it as well there. Yeah, that Chinook. Oh, so close. It gets to touchdown. It won't make it out of there alive. The second Chinook getting lit up pretty heavily as well. But the first one of them, one of them will make it out. The other one,
insane.
Oh, goes down in the last second there. Oh. But yeah, the air rifles should be able at least to do a stabilization of the southern area. Humvee TOW trying to get some shots around as well. At the same time though, the M1 IPs pushed out of the middle and no infantry left in there. They didn't go down. Humvee TOW also doing a decent job here with its kills, getting another BMPs. But the BMPs, they're not the most important units here around. They are replaceable. So more damage needs to be done here by Termi to actually get something relevant. Like a supply goat is nearly as expensive as a BMP-1 here. 30 versus 20 points. So the supply goats dying there are just as impactful. Whilst M1 IP numbers, they are really high now. They need a bit more infantry in front of them. There is currently a massive lack of infantry for the center. And the Humvee CP might be found out there in a second. But outside of that, the situation with the tanks, 4 M1 IPs, those can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, frankly, looking at Termi's defenses here, there are a lot of expensive air rifles Dragon units holding sidelines that could be held. There's even a 13-man squad holding a sideline with a 9-man squad. Those, there are 5-man squads in this deck, we have already seen it. Those should be the ones holding the sidelines, with the 13-man assault squads being in the middle here. And now as the vehicles arrive here and getting into Motorschützen range here, not going to be getting any side shots, but with the tightly packed tanks, they're all getting the stress damage here. And yeah, the T-55s actually might be getting a really good engagement here if all of these IPs are going to be on low cohesion.
Yeah, have to retreat to the CV here, gain a bit more stress recovery there. It's still 5 M1 IPs here, 1 leader and 4 normal ones getting involved here. T55s, they can't penetrate them on the long ranges. That's one of the few matchups where I like the M1 IP against T55s, because they have to get so close to actually be able to penetrate you. Your damage back is still not amazing, but you can just basically kite them. The Toes in the south, getting a Shilka there as well. The blue trades keep on coming in nicely. And M1 IP here, yeah, can just take off another T55 AM2. The trades here, in total, I would say are pretty favorable for our player in blue, but they just don't quite have enough forces on the battlefield because their combined arms is a good bit more expensive. American infantry is not cheap, especially airborne one, and the M1 IP, whilst being one of the cheaper Abrams, is still 240 points, so you still pay nearly a minute of income there, and that means replacing them not easy. The Eagles are expensive as well, especially compared to the dirt cheap MiG-21s, but it starts to work again. 3 more units taken out without a single loss, and that's where the value really starts to add up here.
Yeah, the southern fight here for Termi, managing to get back into those few buildings that are in the southeast corner of Fedor. That's the place that allows you to spot the enemy reinforcement route, and that is the place that is currently being pretty well held by actually the smoke mortar and the rocket helicopter. Rocket helicopter is nearby supply, but all of the supply has been diminished, largely probably by the coups.
So, and the tank fight here in the middle is just going fantastic right now for Termi. Taking out 2 more T-55s without losing one of his Abrams, getting potentially even more damage in there, getting the M1 IP even in there to start to get the take back online. MiG-21 bomber suiciding onto the M1 IP. I don't believe it can get the kill there. No, it can't, even killing its own Mod-Schützen. So the M1 IP leader can still back out there, and as long as there's enough supply in the deck for Termi, they can keep this coming non-stop, basically. This is the trades you want to get.
Yeah, with the ODA and the deltas and the quick fix and everything holding south here, as long as the south gets additional ATGMs, maybe like one additional ATGM, I think it's going to be able to hold pretty well. So Jover investing more into getting into Fedor is probably going to be the hard target, whereas trying to do exactly what they're doing right now, getting T-55s into touching distance.
Oh, the smoke fight! They're basically they are on top of each other. They still don't see each other.
Yeah, they are touching.
They were literally touching each other. Oh, T-55 gets in there, gets the kill. Yeah, that was a mistake there by Termi. Termi should have moving out there. Smoke a bit too dense in WARNO, but yeah, the M1 IP here. Moving
75 meter visibility, 50, something like that should be there. Otherwise, it's going to be weird. Now, interestingly, an Apache ATAS actually ordered to defend Fedor here, as well as another Apache ATAS going into the middle. Now, it could be that Termi is thinking that, well, we already have like a 450 point lead here, so we just want to keep the enemy not advancing and building up the more expensive forces. The Eagles will slowly trade up against any enemy vehicles, any enemy air and helicopters. Artillery, even though not self-propelled, can counter and push. Can counter any like large infantry attacks pretty decently. And then the faster units, the Abramses, the Apaches, can go and clean them up. But what's lacking here in the middle is still infantry, and no infantry is coming. Another Abrams leader, but like what? Just an aero scout unit to support all of this. It could be a nice force multiplier.
Yeah, and F-15s here in the sky. Smoke mortar coming in again. Delta gets taken out in the south. Green Berets ODA still sitting there. Smoke comes in for the corner. There was never any successful counter battery, so Termi still has 3 artillery pieces as well. They need more infantry for the center, though. M1 IP leader coming up again, but like 2 or 3 recon and infantry units here for the center, spotting for this M1 IP wave. That would be actually where the value really would add up, because then they can spot the enemy first, then they can take the engagements a bit better, not having to run into RPG range as often. Can call in artillery for that when necessary. But it's not what's happening right now. ODA in the south getting overwhelmed thanks to the bomber. MiG-21 HE doing a fantastic job there. F-15 not around to stop it. But at the same time, Motschützen and BTR going down in the north as well. So the trades here still going pretty well for Termi. They just are now down to a +1 take from the other side.
Oh, the counter battery taking out the smoke mortar, which is very easy to do and very nice here. I actually would like to say that the ODA was not murdered by the MiG-21. It was murdered by having, on the rules of engagement, Termi has their right-click move command on hunt. And this is basically means that every time they right-click a unit, if the unit has something to fire, it will stop and fire. And I saw Termi trying to micro the ODA away from the fight, but then the ODA getting the hunt command would stop right next to the forest and fight on the open. And that's a little thing. I would recommend everybody to have a hunt on Q move and then a move on standard right click. That's just way better in my opinion.
Engagements in the north, T-55, SPW there, trying to push through, arrow rifles and snipers doing a decent job there. M1IPs could intervene any moment there. Even the Fagot ATGM not all that important. Meanwhile, T-55 leader in the south is out in the open because the smoke mortar to die. ATAS gets the kill there. These trades lately are really not that juicy for our player in red. M1IP pushes on towards the T-55 AM2B, gets that as well. This is not a great situation here. SPW goes down too. MiG-29 coming in for the ATAS. ATAS tries to retaliate, and the MiG-29 goes down without getting the kill onto another Apache. Another dive here getting stopped. New smoke wave coming up from the Termi as well. Trying to get CV in there. Maybe overstretching a bit right now with trying to get a Green Beret leader around towards the northern point. But they get the trades right now, so they can afford making it a bit weird and a bit wide. Eagle goes down, that's an unfortunate loss, but outside of that, the situation here is looking pretty promising for our player in blue.
I'm sorry, I'm frozen right now. Okay, so that was 7 seconds. I just gotta move a little bit.
Yeah, we also saw a kill here on another T-55. SPW trying to get into the zone. Mod Aufklärer coming in numbers in Mi-8 rockets, but oh, the pivot! Oh, the pivot might go down here. It gets stunned. Oh, this move might actually work out. Jover with the massive Mi-8 push. Not enough AA around. No Eagle there to stop this. We have a Chinook with a minigun that might get involved, but nope, that one gets gunned down as well. And the pivot getting stunned there. Major importance here, as Jover is about to take over the zone. MiG-21 bomber still coming around, killing off the Humvee, killing off the TOW, and that just absolute bolts Mi-8 push is actually working out. Second pivot now getting engaged. First one is finally back into action as well, but super low cohesion, so its accuracy is pretty bad, and it doesn't get the kill into the Mi-8s. But at least pushes them back for now. Might be able to finish them off on the way out. Oh, the accuracy is so terrible. It deals so little damage compared to a normal AA piece like this. Mi-8 goes down in the end though. But it got the zone red, and it got a lot of units on the defensive positions out there. So it is now Jover that gets a good take online. Termi needs to get points elsewhere. MiG-21 bomber killing off some own Motschützen again. But the M1IP is damaged. Might eat another missile here? No. Able to disengage. MiG-21 going down as well. Still a lot of losses for Red. But they at least got some valuable kills in the south. And oh, these M1IPs push too deep. Way too deep. The Motschützen is on their flank. Getting side shot RPG shots. Second one gets stunned. First one already down. The Motschützen get another one. Get another kill. Oh no. This is the disaster. Motschützen getting 3 M1IP killed. Oh, the absolute disaster there. That's why you want some infantry around these units. Little birds going down as well. Oh, Termi was so far ahead in this round. But this is going south so quickly right now.
Maximum scale.
At the same time, the Green Beret leader is walking up there, and with a couple of 100 points lead, it does seem like this is still doable. 8 points, and there literally needs to be any infantry in the middle, but for reasons we cannot comprehend, Termi is not bringing any, despite having a bunch of it all around the place. And with the another Green Beret leader coming down south to contest this, and I have a feeling that the fighting lines are so static right now that even if the M1IP gets taken out, and it does, even if it does, I have a feeling that this is going to go down for a while. There are no positions here for breakthrough on either part. Both sides playing very defensively and using a lot of support equipment, a lot of artillery, helicopters, and the air, instead of trying to fight on the ground. Early on, the infantry fights were won so dominantly by fire support that I have a feeling Termi just did not want to get into an infantry grind that they would lose to a more efficient enemy. But now there needs to be a repositioning of ideas a little bit on getting maybe just like one ODA out there that could really help those leaders getting in the middle.
Green Beret leader in the north securing a +1, but immediately getting bombed. The MiG-21 bombers here are pretty gnarly, but the +1 here, even a couple of extra points could matter a lot here right now at this stage, as only 6 minutes remaining. There is another Green Beret leader for the southern zone. SBW is still in there, so that's something that you might want to nuke out there. And the Fallschirmjäger, they haven't unloaded yet. Okay, they will be unloading in a second. Then we will see a tick rate here coming up for ItsJover. Soon to come up to a +2 here, most likely, as the north gets captured, the center gets captured. Then we have a +2 situation here. And I believe there's only one CV here remaining for Termi, and that one is, that's the one moving into the south right now. No other leader on the battlefield left, and with only 5 minutes 55, even the ones that get bought now might take a while to the middle of the map. So even if there are any left, they will struggle to have any impact. So it is down to the Green Beret leader sniping the SBW on the other side, getting the stop on the tick here. That would be massive. It's hitting the SBW a bit with the artillery. It's killing off the MTLB supply truck next to it at least, but it's not quite doing it. The other supply truck unit here out of supply, the other artillery units, but the ones from the north getting involved here now too. Helicopters trying to make way for the Green Berets. MiG-21 coming in immediately towards the Green Beret leader. Green Beret, again with the hunt command, getting stopped by the mod Aufklärer. Oh no, Termi. That's why you want to have the normal move. Okay, switches to move command now. Is moving into the zone. Is getting it down to a +1. +1 at this stage might be not. So, yeah, +1 right now would be still barely enough. Oh, and the leader goes down. The leader on the other side goes down as well, but it stays on a +1 because it went down before it could get captured. Oh, this might have been a matter of second situation here now, because I think Termi can now clean up the zone, but he can't capture it. And there might not be any CVs left. I think that was the last CV, and a +1 will just be barely enough here to get it over the points for our player in red. Oh no, I think this is it. I don't see another CV coming in, and I am pretty sure this is because there is no other CV here.
Yeah, I mean, there are the ODAs were landed, and right now they're just standing still. They're not even trying to attack further right. And right now I have a feeling that the goal is to sacrifice all of these units to hunt down the single Führungspanzer T-55 that is getting out there. With the Apache, has run out of the missiles. He cannot penetrate this thing.
Yeah,
so
it will reach the front line. No leader being bought, so they are out of leaders. So even if the T-55 wouldn't have gotten in, there would have still been enough points for Jover, and it's now a +2. So this does seal the deal here, and a really crazy game, really crazy game number 1 is closing out here now. Termi with a interesting take here on this, and it's great to see how much these players have improved over this season. Division 4 is the division for our new players. Termi already played in Division 4 last season, didn't go so well there. This time around, making it all the way to the finals, but is now down 0-1 here, and will have to bring it up in game number 2 against Jover here, as this is only a best of 3, so match ball here for Jover now.
Yeah, this the KDR being so even here, but the strategic positions were repeatedly the better for fourth moto. The wider front line, especially early on when the infantry fights really happened in the middle, it was the wider front line and the support equipment that won that easily for the East Germans. And I have a feeling that that could have been dismantled with all of the artillery around and all of the mech equipment around. There were pieces in play that could have fought back against that, but instead wanting to rely on the tank force, which suffered from a lack of recon, just a single infantry unit in front of the tank force, and I think this could have gone differently. And the infantry unit could have been taken from some of those expensive squads that were holding sightlines that were and never ended up engaging in anything. And of course, you look at the very opener with the Fashim Jaegers deploying way too aggressively against a faster foe. Now, when you realize that you're getting such juicy kills, like that is the point to start pushing your luck, even if it's just like a few 100 meters, because preventing the reinforcements into the middle in the opener, that could have completely changed the game.
Yeah, and Fritsch here with the triple kill on the M1IP, that was the absolute MVP unit of this game. Yeah, if any infantry unit would have been around to prevent these side shots from happening, to stun down the Mordschützen and scout them out, like this game would have gone out differently. The M1IPs could have just pushed through from there on out and just completely cleaned up the center, but they got killed there by the only unit that was around. The Mordschützen really was the last bastion there, and it did the job necessary here. Getting the 1-0 lead here now for Jover. So yeah, we're gonna go into a short break, guys. Then we're gonna be back with game number 2. Absolutely excited for that one, as this first game was an insane nail biter already. So here we go, everybody. Game number 2. Termi versus Jover. And this could potentially be the final game of this season. So this is the perfect timing to get you all ready for the next season, I guess, as season 4 is coming around. And you can already sign up. It starts at the 2nd of June. You can find the link in the chat right now on Twitch, down in the description on YouTube. We also will have another 2v2 tournament this weekend, so don't you worry. Competitive gaming is still going on between league seasons as well. And if you want to sign up for that, you can find the link in the chats right now as well. So that still has the sign up going up until tomorrow at noon, and then we will set everything up there for the brackets. So yeah, get yourself signed up if you want to play a bit of 2v2 WARNO with some friends on Sunday. It's a Swiss tournament, so when you sign up, you will be able to play in all rounds, and will get better and fairer matchups throughout the tournament, because you will face other teams with similar standing. So even if you lose the first round, that just means that you will be put against somebody else who lost the first round as well, and will have a better and closer matchup in the second round. So, yep, all great stuff coming up. And let's see if this is the final game, or if Termi can fight back here and get us to the decider match. It was really close in game number 1. Let's see if Termi can push it over this time, as this is a really cool matchup between two American aggressive division.
Yeah, I just want to add into the 2v2 tournament, if you and your friend get like a really nice upset game, something a strategy you're really proud of, just shoot me a DM on Twitch, and I'll go find the VODs on Discord. You can send them, and I can cast them on my stream if we don't get to it with Protoss on the main stream. But yeah, 11th Cavalry versus 9th Infantry. 9th is the prototype division, of course, in the south of Denmark, and 11th Horse is the very first frontline division in the middle of Sentag. You recently described 11th Horse as the only good American division, Protoss. Why do you... I mean, 9th is situational, of course, and 9th could maybe be the worst division in this matchup, because it lacks all capacity to fight tank battles in the late game. But why exactly do you think 11th Horse is the only good American division?
Well, I obviously did a bit of clickbait there. I think 9th is the only other contender for that. So I think these are the two best American divisions fighting against each other. I give a slight advantage to the 11th Force, because they are having good fundamentals still. They have solid IVs with Martyrs and Panzergrenadiers in them. They have a good recon opener with forward deploy LRS that can spot for the then quickly following up Bradleys and M1A1 ACAFs. They also have a fantastic air tap, F-16s, 8-hands, and all of that stuff. And 9th has a decent air tap as well. 9th has all these sneaky units around it as well, but they need to get the opener right, because if they have to push, they will struggle in this matchups. They can't really push into M1A1s. They have to be the ones that you push into, and they don't quite have that much forward deployment going for them either. So it's going to be tough to really set it up here for the 9th Infantry.
Yeah, I think 9th has a skill floor where you need to know maps, and you need to understand your enemy's potential openers well enough to actually get the advantage out of these 120 kph FAV cars. The FAVs on their own, if you just send them to do things, are not going to achieve that much, and you don't get that many of them. And you want a 100-point unit that has 4 toes and gets killed by machine gun fire. It's not that there's a lot of things that you can do wrong with this, but who knows? Maybe Termi has prepared this quite well. And unfortunately, it might be that the FAVs are just going out there into the front line. But if you're expecting your opponent to send in ACAVs, the forward deployment recon Abrams, the FAVs right there in the middle as fire support units kind of do make sense. But I'm afraid that having 3 of them, and having those 3 build your complete anti-tank force, that might actually not be enough to deal with 2 ACAVs. Not when there are a bunch of LRS out there providing top-tier recon.
Ooh, ARCAF troopers there, running really low already. OH with the 20mm, the JOH getting the Black Hawk immediately killed. And the FAVs stopping the Humvees in the middle. The LRS getting under sniper fire immediately as well, being stunned down. Might be able to get one of the snipers killed here. That would be a decent success, but they are stunned down already. And the snipers now get their trade online, so they will deal extra damage here. And the LRS super stressed out. Another Humvee going down. F-16 versus F-16. Nobody dying. And snipers actually go down there. So the LRS doing a decent trade.
Yeah, the Barrett M82 has no minimum range apparently, but the M24 sniper rifle does, so the M24 was not actually firing there. But yeah, right now there are 2 ACAVs and a Bradley going forwards. There's a single 3 missiles left, one of them getting fired right now, possibly getting smoked.
Ooh, getting the Bradley,
Nice.
that's a good kill. But yeah, these other two M1, the two M1A1s there, they are scary, obviously. The TOW2s, with a side shot, could kill it. Frontal hits will only deal okay damage if they hit. They don't hit there. So new units need to come in. We have the CLCV GLH with the Hellfire missiles on a Humvee. The Redneck Wunderwaffe coming in there. And the M1A1s pushing forward, getting the kill onto the TOW2 FAV. And this is a problem now. They clean out the faults as well. Ooh, F-16 cluster, but can that get the kill? Yes, it finds one. Gets a hit against the A-10 as well. Okay, the 9th US stream is still alive. They have control over the north. One M1A1 down. Can they find the second one? There's so few units on the battlefield for the red side, but it is still an M1A1 holding the front line. And nothing else to stop it there where it is right now. But 11th is so low on units.
Oh no, the COC-Vs are going into a position where they might actually get targeted and spotted by the ACAV. The ACAV doesn't have full recon optics, it only has good optics, but that is still 3 times more than a standard tank would have. And with the ACAV, with the Abrams having great guns, oh no, it is firing, and it takes one of the ground launch Hellfires out. Oh no, the second one gets into cover right now. But yeah, this is there's not a lot of stuff that the 9th can do right now. There's a bunch of FAVs out here, but those FAVs are
the second CLCV goes down as well. And yeah, we see a Aquila drone now coming around that when it gets to the front line will be able to spot all of this, but by then the Blackhawks with the air trooper will have come in. The aircraft troopers will be there in time to lock this down, and that means no take here for our blue team. The cluster bomber could still wipe out the second M1A1, but it's so on the knife's edge. But it seems like 11th ACAV might be doing it here nonetheless.
Yeah, just buying recon at this point, 5 minutes in, and having lost your opener, and you're still buying recon when you have all of these FAVs on the board here. It just doesn't speak of a good build order, a good buy order here. The reinforcements coming in for JOver are cheap scouts, IHawks, infantry with IFVs, and the reinforcement for the other side are ATGMs to desperately try to prevent this ACAV from completely power creeping through the map.
Yeah, Aquila does see it all now. No plane out right now to get the kill on it though. The JOH 58 here pushing a bit forward. Currently no AA around here to stop the Aquila. And OH now might take out the Iltis Führungs. Iltis finally starts moving, and the 20mm doesn't get a handle of it, so it works out there. Aircraft trooper next target. Got this. 20mm is not getting any damage done at all. What? That's a terrible 20mm, it seems. 202A coming around. Light rifles. The CLGP artillery pieces coming in already. But yeah, that means that you are fine with the current situation and the current frontline position. And I don't think you are as 9. Like, this is not where you want to be. This is not where you want to dig in and get your artillery online. But I mean, I guess there is no other choice right now. So, yeah, better set up good defenses now, and maybe start to get the artillery play online. There is not a lot of artillery for 11th, so it's not like they're gonna bring a much better artillery park onto you as well, but I'm not sure how 9th is getting back into the zone. I guess air spam, but with iHawks and F-16 on the other side, that's not gonna be easy either.
Yeah, the way to contest the zone here would be to contest in alpha would happen, in my opinion, by unloading troops north of Alpha and then moving from those tree lines to try to fight an infantry fight against the ACAM. Meanwhile, the wide front that consists of the Citadel and of the left side, this would provide theoretically enough ATGM coverage so that the Abrams can't really move away from the infantry that would push from the north. But currently, oh no, the Eagle getting tagged by the Eyehawk. That's especially when your enemy already has a fighter and a bunch of A-10s in their deck. That's bad. Yeah, the infantry that would go and contest this are just not out there, and the infantry needs to start, in my opinion, instead of the artillery. There should have been 2 squads of light rifles or something equivalent, and those units should currently be at the location where the FAV is. That's the position to fight back here. The digging in is not the vibe. If you dig in, your enemy will be able to dig in better. Okay, so now the cluster is coming in here, targeting the position.
But it's slightly
be
up.
Missing crucially.
It gets damage, it gets the martyr, but it doesn't get the kill. And the Eyehawk gets the kill in return. That's a massive loss there. F-16 still not out of it either. The Eyehawk is on a killing spree. It's a one-bed Eyehawk hitting 3 missiles in a row against 30 and 40 ECM planes. That's pretty painful there. The Copperheads now coming in with the artillery are on target against the M1A1. Get good damage against the Iltis as well. Might even get the kill on both here. Get the Iltis. Can they find the M1A1? No, not quite. But that's still a decent first salvo for these artillery pieces. Maybe able to push the M1A1 out far enough that something else can come in, but the loss of the airplanes here, that is the painful part.
Yeah, and there are no... Oh, what? The reinforcements are 105mm artillery. No, this is artillery addiction. This is a rigid doctrine, so to speak. Okay, well, there is some infantry coming in. Thank God. The light rifles Dragon are moving in there, but even those light rifles Dragon are going into do fortifications. They are not moving into a position where they could gain any more map control. Artillery on its own does not gain you any map control. If you're facing a division that can bring out a buttload of M1A1s, you cannot win the game on this position by killing every single one of those. You're just going to attrition all the tools that you have. All your planes, your artillery, your ATGMs are going to get attritioned before the enemy runs out of tanks.
Yeah, JOH in the north running into a Stinger as well. And most likely gonna get shot down there by the second missile. M109 artillery coming around on the other side now. And yeah, the red side's front line is pretty stable now. JOH 58C goes down. Humvee Scouts moving forward. And yeah, the freshman division here, Division 4, it's looking like Jover is on a pretty solid situation right now. Like, Termi needs to bring something radical in here to give this matchup a new spin. Otherwise, this will go pretty badly. M48, M60 is now coming in. The TTS, they got buffed slightly lately. They're still not the most amazing tanks out there, especially struggling against the M1A1s, but as a fire support unit and dealing with the Bradleys, they can be pretty decent, thanks to having max range. So we'll see how that goes. The Copperheads now trying to go for the Eyehawk. That would be a great kill, but obviously with the loss of Cluster Bomber, it's not super key now. It wouldn't enable anything right away, but still getting the kill there would be nice. Eyehawk gets stunned down. First couple of shots not landing on target. Eyehawk now loads back into the supply truck and will need now a bit more damage to get killed off. And yeah, the artillery just a bit too inaccurate there. Eyehawk moving out of there now, not getting killed off by the salvo.
Yeah, it seems like the divisional pick here is so strained for Termi. Like a conventional division that could be transitioning into buying like T-80s or Abrams or Leopards, that would allow both the artillery play, and most of them would also allow some level of air play. And the only thing that's really special here about the 9th was the very fast FAV opener, but the FAV opener could the forward deploying opener could be achieved by other divisions, such as something like 2nd Panzergrenadier or 5th Panzer, even with Fernspurs. And the M82 50 caliber sniper rifles, even though they're nice, I don't think they are worth having to do these attacks now with patterns instead of actually modern tanks. Even though I do like the little machine gun cupola in top of the patterns, the M85 50 cal machine gun that they have in these M60s was actually faulty. They never managed to get it working, which is why they stopped using the cupolas and reworked them in the 2000s.
We have now the artillery park here getting into action, but we have artillery on the other side as well. And those will now try to take out the center positions here. And we have Panzergrenadiers, we have Madres now set up here. So a lot of work to cut out for this artillery park to actually get the stuff killed. And yeah, the M60s up against the M1A1. I mean, this game would have been completely different if Termi would have found a way to deal with the final M1A1. There was really so little left on the side of the 11th ACAF after that opener. They lost a lot of their stuff, like around 1,000 points dying in the first 2 minutes, but they were able to preserve the one unit that the enemy couldn't stand in front and couldn't deal with. So in the end, they were able to get the push to where they are right now, and they are scaling so much better into the late game. If this frontal position would still be in Termi's hand, the situation would be actually quite decent, but it isn't, and now we actually even have a charge from the other side. Mech rifles and aircraft troopers here trying to push through the southern forest, and I don't believe there's enough here right now for Termi to actually hold out there.
Yeah, the Jover has bought 3 CEVs, and I think that is overkill. And he presumes that these positions are held by masses and masses of infantry. Considering that 9th does get some of the best infantry, if not per price, but just the light rifles are really good. They get a lot of support weapons. The Dragons are really good AT weapons. The AGL Humvees for 30 points give you the automatic grenade launcher. There are a lot of strengths in 9s, and none of them have gotten. None of them have managed to be played here yet. And the CUC-Vs even though they can deter the enemy, the CUC-Vs are going to be facing like a bunch of engineer squads in just a moment. And in those close ranges, I think that will force the M60s to move, which then will give the chance for the Abrams and Martyrs to do a push. And with the artillery, you mentioned that 11th Horse doesn't have that much artillery.
Oh, the A10 killing off the Stingers! Oh no! AA tried to come in here for the center, but they were still in transport, so the A10 actually killing off the Stingers. And the North is getting dismantled now as well. The air superiority here now in the hands of Jover, because they have the IHawk. There is no AA like that on the other side here right now. So the IHawks do immediately give air dominance here. F-16 immediately eating it again. And the F-15 trying to come around, flies over Stingers, flies over the F-16, gets killed off as well. Yeah, this is not going well at all. The engineers pushing through the forest, and it's going down everywhere now. Like, no kills in the north. The defensive position there of Jover is so thin, but it's enough. There is no real zone there anymore, so you would have to really swing around fully. Vertigo, really in this setup, yeah, you said it. It's not a light division setup after minute 3. Like, you have 3 minutes to make something work. If you don't make it work in the first 3 minutes, your life on this is basically forfeit, and that's kind of what we see here right now. The COCV is still trying to do some damage, but even if it gets all the kills in the world, how do you push on this matchup? You kind of don't.
now with the CEVs and the M1 Abrams reinforcements moving out there under the cover of smoke, the TTSs, as I predicted, are completely out of position, getting engaged by the mech rifles. And yeah, the COC-V does get a really good hit against the Abrams, but there are not even enough missiles here to stop this. Oh, the TOW2A might actually get a kill. Nope. Misses against the CEV.
Yeah, the COCV comes around against the CEV, comes around against the M1A1, deals damage there, but the engineer's about to get on top of them. M60 here, trying to come around, but yeah, this is not a great push right now from the Jover. Jover taking a lot of damage here, and the Hellfire actually dealing a good amount of damage, but the M60 here getting overwhelmed. We have tow cobras coming around to stop the MR13s that are pushing onto the artillery pieces right now, out of all things. And the COCV goes down here now as well. And that means no good AT here left anymore. The TOW2 in the middle went down as well. We finally have a T-Chap on the battlefield, trying to get some damage in. F-16 does survive for now. T-Chap number 2 might be able to get the kill there. Nope. And the Eagle not getting the kill either. Yeah, we have tow cobras coming around, F-16 cluster coming in. It's all still defensive play, but the situation is getting pretty dire here now.
Yeah, the helicopters trying to clean up the engineers, but the LRS are already in a perfect spotting position, near perfect spotting position, which means that the helicopter play of Jover as well as Jover's bombers can basically have free reign over the backline here. And with the significantly heavier armor tab and the fact that the middle citadel is not being used in any ways by Termi to actually apply any pressure.
And we have the GG here. And we have a Division 4 champion. ItsJover taking it 2-0 and taking out Termi here in the grand finals of Division 4. Both of them will move on to Division 2 next season, but only one can call himself Division 4 Season 3 champion, and that is Jover. So GGVP here, well played, and yeah, a really nice run, a really nice season. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I would like to root for Termi, considering he's one of my most loyal viewers on my stream, Jover is a beast. Jover on Division 4 was kind of overkill in many ways, with getting into the Division 3. I think Jover's gonna finally start getting some worthy opponents. They've advanced so much, and they've been like they most games of Jover that we have cast, it really does look like they're just kind of dominant. They don't play on the level of like your Division 2 people, but every strategy that gets executed by Jover gets executed to a very reliable level. Even when the attacks are out of order, even when the micro is not up to par, the fundamentals of macro and decision making carry Jover repeatedly, even past like complete micro mistakes, such as the opener of the last game. And I think that like as much as cool as micro is and as fun as it is to win by using micro, the fundamental understanding of tempo, of pricing, of value, of speed, all of this stuff really seems to be Jover's strength and has carried them all throughout Division 4.
Yeah, and as I said, this ends it here for WARNO League Season 3. That was the final game of the season, and I'm really happy with this season. The players were really getting it smooth sailing in it again. We had no really big hiccups at any point this season, which was really nice. We got, thanks to all of you, to a beautiful $400 prize pool as well. And yeah, thanks everybody who helped supporting it, no matter if with the free contributions or with direct support through financials. But yeah, obviously big thanks to Cam, Steven, Bedracky, Feta, Odyssey, Jeremy, Golden Panzer, Bedracky once more here, coming in with 2 different accounts, actually being the the MVP with $70. And yeah, thanks to all of you guys for making that work. And obviously, thanks to you for being on my side here. Nearly all casts of the seasons, Chloride. It was
Of
an absolute
course,
blast.
while doing my thesis and not basically having any hobbies, because I have been afraid that if I start doing anything, I will get so into it and stop actually contributing to my thesis, to my bachelor's. But the casts have been the one thing that I will not compromise on, and this will also continue. I love casting. I love noticing I go back and I watch and listen to our old cast sometimes in the morning, and I listen to how clunky and just unexperienced we were, and I'm legitimately thinking, we keep doing this for a year or two, and who knows where the scene will be.
Yes, and the scene is growing nicely currently as well. We have as many competitive players as ever before. We have a good couple of other smaller tournaments hosted by other people, and yeah, the general player base is also pretty stable, especially considering that we haven't had a big DLC now in 5 months, or nearly 6 months, and Southec is just around the corner. And I think Broken Arrow will be good for WARNO as well, bringing in new people into the genre, and people will then just pick what they favor. Like, I don't think many WARNO players will switch over to Broken Arrow as their main game, but some of the casual players obviously will switch back and forth. Some people will switch over, but new people will be caught in by the big buzz around that game and pick up WARNO as well. And Eugen is pushing it further. We have cool mods coming up, so I'm really optimistic for the future of this. And yeah, if you haven't followed over at Chloe channel, do that right now. And I think we ended with the WARNO stream for today. I will be back later today checking out a little cute game called AV Assembly, where you build your own plane and fly it around. And yeah, I will come around with that after dinner on Twitch. And yeah, see you all there, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Can I just before say about the Broken Arrow? I think Broken Arrow just fundamentally is not as deep of a game as WARNO, and I think a lot of people we get out there because Broken Arrow has such a visibility in more casual gaming and modern military communities. And with WARNO having such a reliable viewer base, a bunch of streamers that don't miss their dates, thank you, T-Man, Jeremy, I think the natural bend of Broken Arrow's community will eventually lead towards WARNO, while I don't think it's going to be the other way around. I think Broken Arrow's vibe is just a little bit too unpleasant for a lot of us also.
So yeah.
Too much like Wargame Red Dragon.
See you all around, guys, and let's see who can we send you over here on Twitch, as there doesn't seem to be anybody streaming WARNO in English at least. So I think we're gonna send you over to Slytherin, who are playing the new Stargate game, Stargate Timekeepers, and that is an interesting game. I haven't seen Stargate around a lot in any pop fiction stuff, so let's see. Pop culture.
Do you think there's somebody on a desk in an office somewhere who rules the Stargate IP and was like, what? Somebody's interested in our IP?
Yeah, this is